Welcome to the Dalitalks show. I am your host, Dali Rivera, and as always, every Wednesday, I present to you a new person who will bring value to my community, to you. And today, I have somebody very special, Lea Roman, beauty therapist and owner of Mindful Soul and Beauty, who empowers women to connect with their authentic self and helps them align with their inner and outer beauty. So without further ado, here is Lea Roman. Hi, Lea. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much. What a nice introduction.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm really excited to have you on the show because when I met you, I thought, oh my gosh, perfect person to have on the show to be able to educate women and young girls on self-care and having that confidence to do it. And in return, your confidence just keeps amplifying, right? So can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this field?
Yes, absolutely. So let's see, let's make a long story short because I could go on and on. So long story short, in 2001, I was actually working in the fashion industry. And I ended up becoming a design assistant for an outdoor clothing company called Bermici. So that was great. That was fun. And then I had another wonderful experience in the fashion industry working with Lauren Conrad's first clothing line. And if you're not familiar with her, she was on the Hills. And I can't remember what other show it was. But anyways, she was one of the few in the beginning of all reality TV. So I worked on her clothing line. And working on that clothing line helped me to understand sizing and understand body shapes, like how to dress body shapes. I mean, just working in the fashion industry, you learn so much. And you also work your butt off. I mean, Fashion Week was actually a highlight and it was fun and exciting. But at the time, my daughter was 5. I was gone a lot because of all that kind of fast-paced stuff. So I had to think about what I wanted to do. I am a creative person. I don't know. One day I just said, I'm going to go to cosmetology school. I wasn't, everyone's like, so did you love doing hair and makeup when you were a kid? I'm like, no, I'm just creative. I was thinking, what can I do so I could stay around home and, and work. And so I did that, and I worked in salons, and it was great to have women in my chair, fix them up, and have them leave feeling 100 times better than they did when they first sat in my chair. Then they would come back, and each time was the same story. Oh, my hair is so gross. Oh, I have so many wrinkles. Oh, I would hear a lot of negative self-talk. And so this ongoing theme, it was going on and on. They'd feel great when they left, and they were back in the same place when they came back. So I knew there had to be more. It didn't matter how they looked on the outside, how well I did their hair, what clothes they were wearing. It didn't matter, because no matter what, on the inside, they were still in that same space. So that, I felt like the hair and the makeup and all that was just this illusion. And this illusion would dissolve eventually. And so I was like, you know what? There's more to being beautiful or feeling beautiful. And so I started developing workshops. And the first workshops, I would call them Peace, Love, Beauty workshops, because the hippie in me, I had to do that. And so with those, I started the workshops showing women pictures of celebrities with Photoshop and not Photoshopped, and trying to get that into their head that this is not real. We're comparing ourselves to unrealistic expectations. So basically that's what I did. And it just started snowballing, doing the workshops, and then still at the same time performing the services for the women, for the hair and makeup, and making them feel great. But at the same time, when I'm doing those services, pumping them up, giving them tools, and giving them these new ideas of habits to create, healthy habits to create, to align this inner love with the outside. Because I got to tell you, when the inner and outer beauty is aligned, you are gorgeous. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. None of that matters if you are in alignment with those two things.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think that it's very difficult for women to accept that fact about themselves because of what you said, the photoshopped images that we see every single day. And sometimes, though, we tell ourselves, okay, I know that's photoshopped, but I still want to look like that. And that's really hard because it's everywhere.
Yeah, I'm even victim to doing that. If I want to do something and okay, I'll see a picture, want to do my makeup like that. And then, oh man, yeah, hello. And I have to remind myself, hello, just remember that, and a lot of times when I'm doing hair and makeup, I change the wording to show me your inspiration photo. So I say inspiration because that's what it is. It's for inspiration. And we go through our dialogue there to figure out what it is we can achieve together.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So then that's how Mindful Soul and Beauty was created, right? So it's pretty much workshops that teach you those habits so that you can feel good and be able to learn how to apply beauty tips. Is that right?
Right. Absolutely. Yes. Because we can all do our hair. We could do our makeup. It's fine. We could watch a YouTube video. Fantastic. But when, again, aligning the inner and outer beauty. So within the workshops or the one-on-one coaching that I provide, or even master classes that I have online, you can go there and everything is more than just a tutorial. There is the foundation that I laid down for creating the self-love and knowing your self-worth first, because then it becomes more fun when you actually like who you are and like what you look like. It's a lot more fun to play with clothes and play with makeup and hair. So I got to throw in that foundation and then have women. Then it's fun to learn about how to dress your body shape and what colors look good on you. It's fun. So that's what I like to promote, is the fun of it all. I know a lot of women are like, oh, I give up. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'll just settle for what I look like. Why should I care? But I'm like, or some are like, oh, there's more to life than just looks. Yes. But I always try to let women know that the desire to feel beautiful is not vain. It's not. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want to show up and present ourselves in our most authentic way that we can.
Ooh, that's a really good point you just hit on, the vanity part, because I remember as a kid my dad always saying, you look so beautiful with your natural look, you don't need makeup or anything. And I think he was kind of like coaching me to grow up with that idea of no makeup, none of that, because to him it was a thing of vanity. So for a very long time I thought, well, my dad's proud of me for being, true to myself, owning it like that. But there was a part of me that wanted to play around with makeup. And I remember the first time that I did, I felt so inadequate and very intimidated by applying the makeup because I'd never done it. By then my father was out of the picture, so I always wonder like what he would have reacted like, but my mom was not very into it, and she also wasn't opposed to it, so I was pretty much on my own. And one of the things that I think that is very important for girls to learn is that it's okay and that it's not a vanity thing, and also to not be intimidated by, especially nowadays, because makeup is, I feel like it's at a whole another level. It's contouring, and it's almost like you have to be a real great creative artist just to put on makeup and all of these things that they like. Recently I just learned about setting spray and the shimmery stuff. The shimmery stuff.
Highlighter.
Yeah, there we go. And then there's like a primer for lips and a primer for eyelids and a primer for just foundation. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm a very simple person. So what tips do you have for people who want to embrace it and play with it and have that natural look. Like I said earlier, when I saw you, like, you look so beautiful because you still look like you, but you have all the makeup on. There are people who I see that put on the makeup and they post a picture online, and I know them in person, and I say, well, that's not you. It's kind of disappointing, So what tips do you have for people like me who want to play with it, but want to look like ourselves?
I love that question, because that is actually the clientele that I attract the most. And I want to, first of all, ease them into it and try to take away that intimidation, because I can understand, where that comes from. I mean, even myself working in the beauty industry, I can see how oversaturated it is. It's even overwhelming for myself. It drives me nuts. So the first thing I would say, and actually I do provide I have a worksheet that I could provide to your viewers that is called a makeup audit. And if they wanted to go through with that with me, they can do that as well, or they can happily do it on their own. But so with what I like to start with is a makeup audit, getting all the makeup that you have and putting it out there and seeing, you may have stuff that either someone gave to you or collected, that you've collected, and you have no idea what it's for, or we have stuff that's expired, so it's just all these things, like, what is all this stuff? And the tips I would say is, first, go through that little makeup bag and just make sure that nothing is truly expired. Go through and check it out. I do also provide a list of the minimal must-haves. You were talking about primer for the lip and for the eye and for the skin. Well, you can also use, what I do is I have a face primer and I just use it for my eyelids too. So there's just little shortcuts that you can take. And then also learning about what to invest in, because some products you do want to spend a little bit more money, and others you don't have to. I did a workshop where I presented these products that I did. I compared them, and I did a high-end brand and a drugstore brand. Some, yes, spend the money on that product because it could go a long way, and it's just maybe even healthier for your skin. So I think to answer that, I would just also say, just take a deep breath and get rid of all the noise. Get rid of all that noise. I feel like the tutorials that you're probably talking about, or friends that you see when they're putting all this makeup on, I feel like that's an entertainment makeup artist. It's for the entertainment value of it. And so I have a 16-year-old daughter, and she has fun, she explores, but I try to let her know that's fun, that's for video, but maybe not necessarily for, walking around like that. Even though I've let her do that, and she's gone back already and looked at pictures and been like, whoa, what was I thinking? So sometimes we just have to learn as we go. But again, I am more than happy to share the makeup audit. I think that is the first place to start, because you'll learn what you already have and what you can possibly add to your kit.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great idea. I know I've done that. I probably need to do that again, because people do give me stuff and I try to figure out what it's for, and it just sits there. I mean, and it looks like it's really good quality makeup. So sometimes I feel bad throwing it out.
Yeah, right. I know. I do too. I mean, I have a lot of stuff that I just collect also because I want to test it out and I want to try it out. And plus, I guess you would say, in some ways, a beauty junkie, like with having all these things, just because that is part of my business, is like exploring and figuring it out. But I love when you said that your dad, what he would say was about you looking natural without makeup. And I wanted to touch on that really quick, because that is also a part of what I do in this business. And I call those beauty wounds. whether or not they're like deep gashes or not, but it's just like beliefs that were put upon us by no fault of our parents or anybody else. It's just, when we're brought into a family, we are raised by those certain beliefs. And then as we get older, we kind of start questioning those, as we should.
Right.
But I love to start healing those wounds. And then that's where it comes into play with connecting to your authentic self. Because once you do that, then you'll realize, oh, well, I do love makeup, but I love looking, fresh. And so then you kind of explore, what does that look like for you? So for everybody, it's different. So I love to customize whenever I'm working with somebody one-on-one, customize it. So we explore who they are authentically and how they're going to project that on the outside.
Right. Thank you. That's a very good point. So we've talked about the makeup part, but what about the dress? Because that's another thing that I've struggled with, because I'm telling you, it was like I rejected my femininity for I don't know what reason. So I think it was more because I couldn't figure it out. So I decided to toss it to the side. And, I became a woman, and suddenly I'm like, oh, I want to look like that, but I don't know how to put it together. And I still joke about my husband actually has to pick out my clothes, and me up because I still don't get fashion. And it's so funny because sometimes I walk out of my closet and I like, okay, how about this? And he says, go back. Like try again. And he's so sweet about it because he's very patient. And sometimes I remember this one day in particular years ago where he says, you never ever wear like full stripes up top and the bottom, or circles up top and I don't know, like lines at the bottom, like
mixing patterns. He knows about that.
Right. Or he mentioned you don't wear like two blacks together. You always do, a dark and a lighter color or whatever. And I thought, oh, I didn't know because my mom used to buy me tracksuits. So
hey, those are easy.
Yeah, I had no idea. Right. So do you have like a 101 class about clothing or dressing your body or learning what type of body you have?
Yes, I do. I'm actually going to have a repeat class of one I had a few weeks ago, and that I'm trying to figure out the date for it, but it is defining your signature look. And within that, you learn about, body shape and color. I really feel that it's so important to first know how to dress for your shape. I think that's very, very important because, again, we could go back to looking at Pinterest or any other photos and man, I love that outfit. That's a beautiful picture, but how does it look on me? So you have to kind of figure that out. So once you get through that, and this class is just an hour long, and I'm offering it again at no cost. So it's a great place to start because I love to start from dressing your body shape. And then when you go from there, actually, we can learn about your skin tone. And then getting dressed actually can start to become easy because then you start going and exploring this world, but it also could still be extremely overwhelming. So that's why even when I have a class, after the class, I invite the women that attended to email me and ask me questions. And, I want to help. Like it is my passion. And this is something that I would do even if I didn't have bills to pay. You know what I mean? Like I would do it always for free. And right now has been the best time to do this and to explore. There's so many people that are doing free classes and, so it's like now is the best time to do that. And you're going to take away so much. And now is the best time to reinvent yourself. Because once we can finally go out there into the world, we could show up in a brand new way. Mm-hmm. So I'm just readily available for the women that want to work with me and just take the classes, take advantage. I'm working on my website now where I'm having worksheets available. And, I want to keep getting that content out because I want to eliminate that stress and that fear with getting dressed, with showing up, with doing your hair, with all that. I want to help eliminate that stress.
So you mentioned that you share tips. Do you do this on YouTube, Instagram?
Yes, thank you. I do have a Vimeo account where I have some videos, but I also, another thing that I love to do is if anybody has a special request on something that they want to learn or they want to know, if I don't already have that, like I'll just email a video, but if I don't have that video easily readily available, I go ahead and I create it, and I'll create a video based on what someone wants to learn, and send that their way, and they could have that to view. So there's videos, most definitely. I have a lot of those, and some of them are also products that I've discovered that promote wellness. So there's a lot. Yeah, my Vimeo account, you could find a few things.
And what's the name of the account?
Oh, it's Mindful Soul and Beauty /inspiration.
Okay. What about misconceptions? Are there any misconceptions, aside from what you mentioned already, that keep coming up that you see all the time?
Misconceptions. Yeah, I think the misconception is that there's one, that you have to be, there's two sides to this, that you have to either be very, very skinny to feel good about yourself and look great in clothes, or there's a whole other spectrum, how everything always goes from one extreme to another, is now you got to have this giant butt and this tiny, tiny waist. I'm like,
yeah,
whoa. So again, you have to realize that a lot, those pictures that you see, these women, they're dressed like that. They're getting paid. That's their job. And even when it comes to celebrities, that's their job to look a certain way. And I have to even remind myself, I asked a personal trainer once, I said, so what do I got to do to look like J-Lo? Because her body, and she goes, yeah, she was actually realistic as, it doesn't fit my lifestyle. First of all, that's not my career to look like that and to work out for who knows how many hours a day, every day. I don't want to do that. So I just had to accept the fact that I'm fine. My body shape is fine. And if I ever feel like, it's so weird. To me, it's such a mental trip, because let's say one day I have my days where I'm like, oh, I just feel so blah, I feel gross. It's so ridiculous. Oh yeah, how did I gain 10 pounds in one day? Like it's mental, right? I feel that way. Yeah, from one day to the next, I gain 10 pounds, or I feel that way. And you know what helps? If I'm feeling that way, I go for even just a walk, or I could even just do meditation. I could do something, and it's incredible how instantly that illusion of extra 10 pounds, it's gone. So it's just, there's so much that's going on in here in our head. And that's why I love to deal with that foundation of the inner beauty first, because we got to clear all that yuckiness out. We got to shed those layers so we don't get fooled by those misconceptions, because there's so many misconceptions out there. I mean, everywhere you're looking, because of social media, and especially for young girls. And that's where a little more of my passion was driven even more, is because I have a daughter, she's 16, and I see what she sees. So it's going, to Instagram, and the girls with the tiny waists and the big butts. And I know she's looking at that and she's like, wow, I want to do that. And we could go shopping for her. We've been looking online, I'm sorry, that's not really age appropriate. Like she doesn't understand the power that she has with her body right now. Like that hasn't connected yet. So she doesn't need to dress over, sexualized to feel good about herself, and I guess that would be another misconception, that you have to dress provocatively to feel good about yourself. Again, some women do. They look fine. That's great. That's what they do. I mean, I don't judge that if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But I also feel like they have a responsibility almost to just to let people know that that's not real life, that that's for show. It's for the gram, so.
Definitely. And
Mm-hmm.
it's happening to a lot of women and girls, which is incredible, because at first I thought it was just me. And then the more I realized it's everyone, which is really scary, because it just tells you, that that's how powerful the media is. Yeah.
It's extremely, extremely
Yeah.
powerful, to where I feel like I've had to be the social media police when it comes to my daughter, which I do think it's very important to be that anyway. And just to let them know what's real and what's not. They may not still understand that, even though we're telling them, and plus I'm mom saying this, I don't know anything. But later on, it's guaranteed that later on that's going to connect for them. Just right now, their brain isn't fully developed yet, but it'll happen as long as we're laying down that foundation for them.
Yeah. It feels like another full-time job, because I pointed out also to watch their TV shows, and they're just these kids. Like, one of them that I always think of is Casey Undercover with Sanjaya.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't say her name.
Zendaya.
Zendaya. So one of the things that I noticed in TV shows like that, or Jessie, or what is Good Luck Charlie, all of those are no longer airing.
But those are what my daughter watched.
Yeah, I love those. I think I was a bigger fan of them than but one of the things that I noticed in those shows is that the girls are always well groomed. Their hair is always done. The makeup's always done. Eyebrows are perfect. They're wearing lipstick or lip gloss. They're wearing heels sometimes, or really, like very fashionable. And I remember one day noticing that, and I turned over to my daughter and I said, do you notice how perfect they look? I mean, do you look around in real life and see women dressed up like that, or girls dressed up like that all the time? And they looked at me like, what are you thinking? And then she kind of thought about it, and she said, yeah, you're right. So it's a constant, I guess, consciousness that we have to go into to notice and to remind ourselves that is for entertainment. That's not real. That's not how people live.
Yes. You're right. That was great for you to do that for your daughter. Yeah, because that's where it begins with us.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Wow, this has been so amazing. I can't wait to join your a makeup. And okay, so you have a makeup audit, which is a PDF that is downloadable through your website.
Yes.
And your website name is
mindfulsoulandbeauty.com.
And you have your upcoming online class called Defining Your Signature Look.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I love the name of that. Yeah, I can't wait to find out when you're going to do that, because you'll probably see me and my kids on there. This has been really fun. Thank you for sharing about what you do and who you are. I love everything about what you're doing. Thank you once again. And we'll have to have you back on the show at a later time.
I would love that. Anytime.
Any last comments or updates or anything that you'd like to share?
Oh, yeah. Actually, if anybody would be interested, I got to find there is a self-awareness assessment that I have, and you just answer the questions, and then I go in and I analyze them, and then I can give you feedback based on that information. And it's something really fun to do and easy. Like I said, you just answer the questions and give me about 24 hours to give you back that the feedback. So that one is mindfulsoulandbeauty.com/self-awareness.
Perfect. I will make sure that that's on the show notes. Thank you once again. Okay. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Well, there you have it. Lea Roman has shared her valuable tips about feeling confident using makeup and not being afraid to explore with makeup and clothing. And don't forget that she will be offering her online workshop called a Defining Your Signature Look. She will be announcing the date really soon. You can visit her website at mindfulsoulandbeauty.com. And if you really like this video, please subscribe, like, comment, and share with others. That is the biggest compliment that you can give me. And I hope that you come back next Wednesday. Thanks again for watching.